Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of the Extra Point. I'm once again beguiled with Zach and Callie. How are you guys today?
We're rivals.
Fantastic. Yes,
Rival week.
We're rivals
this
for
week.
today.
Alright,
Or this week.
I'm on
Yes.
Team Callie, I think, this week.
Smart. Very smart.
So why don't you start us out and tell us a little bit about last week's Tullahoma loss, and is Tullahoma that bad or is Coffee County that good?
Well, we'll start with the final score. And Coffee County ended up coming in here in Tullahoma, beating them 49-10 in the 91st annual Coffee Pot game. It was sort of a mixture of both. Alante Taylor from Coffee County had 6 touchdowns. He ran for 4, caught 1, and passed for another. So that kid is just an all-around athlete. So aside from him, though, Coffee County didn't display a whole bunch. And Tullahoma actually looked pretty solid on not obviously not on the defensive side of things, but on the offensive side. They had 286 yards worth of offense. Only thing was just consistency. Is if they can just get to where they can move the ball meticulously down the field and just start eating up some of the clock, I think it's going to do them tremendous favors in the future. And I saw a lot of positives coming out of Tullahoma. I absolutely think they'll be hosting Franklin County this week, and I absolutely think that they can get a win against Franklin County.
All right, speaking of Franklin County, he mentioned them.
Yes.
How'd your first play-by-play go?
It went really well. I mean, it's a lot. I give kudos to those who do it on a professional and or collegiate level. I mean, it's insane what's going on and what you have to pay attention to and to talk about. Obviously, we had a big loss to Marshall County, but I don't think anybody saw that as a surprise. We have a Franklin County team that had some good spots. They weren't able to throw the ball at all. We had around 80 yards of offense for the whole game. But it's again against a Marshall County team who was bigger, faster, everything over Franklin County.
What was the final score in that game?
49-6. And so this week it's really going to be a telling of just exactly where Franklin County is and what they can do, which I think they can play. I think in given that opportunity, Mike Leslie can really do some good at quarterback. Also, Caden Sons played at quarterback. He did well. But just the offensive line's got to step up for these guys before they're able to do anything else. Also on defense, they're going to have to step up. Secondary was just lacking in so many levels. If they could get the team back on their own territory, they could hold them, but they give up those big plays, 20-yard plays that would turn into just the other team driving down the field.
Well, based on what Callie just told us, Zach, is Tullahoma going to win that game?
I think Tullahoma has a pretty good chance. The only thing that when we talked to Coach Oliver earlier today about this is wrapping up those big plays. If he can contain Mike Leslie and contain Jarius Johnson, that's going to be the key factor for Tullahoma right now against Coffee County. Once things got to the outside, Tullahoma had a hard time containing Alante Taylor.
Who's a star himself? I mean,
yeah, he's a star himself. He's a 4-star recruit, already committed to the University of Tennessee as a junior. So he'll give his verbal commitment next year, or a full commitment. Excuse me. But it's just about containment on the defensive side. Don't let these teams break you on the outside. Once things were played on the inside against Coffee County, and they ran their traditional offense, Tullahoma did a pretty good defending that, minus the late drive late in the game. So if Tullahoma can contain that, I see this being a pretty good ball game for Tullahoma to win.
So what do you think Franklin County's got to do to win?
Almost the same exact thing as Zach was just saying, containment, and they're almost in the same boat. It's almost just like different teams on different. We didn't have them. Tullahoma had an awesome offense. The amount of yards that they had, that's great for them. That really shows how they're strong as offensively, more than maybe what we thought coming in. I think Franklin County will be able to showcase their strengths on offense in this game. It's going to be a close game.
I guess my question would be if Marshall County and Coffee County played, who would win that game?
Marshall County.
I think it'd be a lot closer than what people would think.
Yeah, but
I think Marshall County would probably top them. I think Marshall County is just that
These
good.
guys are massive and they're fast and
cornbread.
Yes.
I'd say within.
What's your prediction for this weekend?
This weekend, if I had to predict a score, I'd probably say something about 31-21 Tullahoma.
I done told him before this, I didn't want to give a score. I don't like being married to
Well, you don't have to give a score. What's your prediction?
I think whoever wins by a touchdown.
Okay. So no prediction.
No,
No.
I don't.
I
like
think they're
I
going to be
don't
tied, 28-28. No. I think it's going to be a very close game. Based on what I've heard from both of you, I'm actually going to say Tullahoma by a field goal.
Okay.
The field goal is going to make the difference.
Either way,
Chase
if-
Farler, hear that?
yeah.
Come on.
Either way, if you're looking for a good game to watch on a Friday night, this is going to be a good game to go out and support.
Any
your,
other
your
games
local
out there
teams.
that this weekend?
I'm interested to see how Coffee County, obviously coming off of a big win over Tullahoma last week, but they got to go down to Hendersonville and play Pope John Paul II. So I'm interested to see how they do in that one. That's really the top one that I'm going to keep my eye on.
Anything on your
No.
side? No? Okay, well, that'd be a good segue to talk about maybe some college football that's fixing to kick off. Not this weekend, but next weekend we kick off. I've got some good games slated for the
Yeah,
first
a
weekend.
lot of good games. I mean, USC against Alabama, Clemson and Auburn. Who does Florida State play? Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I mean, those are going to be some.
In Oklahoma and
Oklahoma
Houston.
and Houston.
And,
Yeah, it's going to be a
we
great
will
game.
start our picks again, our weekly picks.
It's actually, you know, most of the time you play such weak schools in the first week. This is not so much the case at week one for this year.
Well, I think it's
so.
important nowadays in college football that you make sure that scheduling, just like in the Sweet 16 or the top 64 in college basketball, it's all about who you play
Yeah.
if you're going to be considered for that top
Yeah.
4 spot. And that's the good thing about the SEC. You know, you hear a lot of people complain and gripe, but if you come out of the SEC with no losses, then you're definitely going to be playing in that top spot. If you come out with one loss, you still have the argument that you played a much tougher schedule
Yeah.
than, let's say, a USC
Ohio
that plays
State.
out in Ohio State, or USC that
Mhm.
plays in the Pac-12. Trust me, I know I've been doing a lot of games the past week or so because we're putting together the Ultimate Football, and I try to go through and pick on a weekly basis what games out there I think are going to be really good matchups
Yeah.
and tough to pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then when you do see an Ohio State who's playing a Bowling Green, and then they're playing a lackluster Minnesota team this year, or a Wisconsin team that's not ranked. Not
Yeah.
taking anything away from Minnesota or Wisconsin. It's just that it's hard to say you deserve to be up there. In the
Yeah,
top
it's
league.
also probably hard to go in that far because you don't know what's going to happen, and that's what I don't like about preseason because it's just basically talk until the balls actually snap and everybody's
All right,
playing.
no ball's been snapped. Who's your national champion this year?
Oh, jeez.
Something about Alabama. I just
Yeah.
don't know. They're always the kind of the safe pick.
They'll be up there in the mix, but I'm
Yeah.
not.
Well, they're starting a freshman quarterback, so that's maybe the only thing that worries me.
Who's your thought?
I mean, obviously, I'd like to see. Obviously, if it has to be somebody, let it be somebody for the SEC. So Alabama. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Alabama with that. Like I said, the only problem I foresee is a freshman quarterback. Other than that, I mean, they're stacked. They're fine.
I actually like Tennessee's chances. It's stacked.
national
it's
champion?
stacked in their favor. They have the home games and whatnot, but they have to get
Yeah,
over.
but I
They have to
don't-
beat Florida. They have to beat
Alabama,
Alabama.
A&M,
And they
like
got
Coach
Florida.
said.
A&M.
They
Yeah.
got Florida at home.
But
A&M,
A&M
it's down a little bit.
Yeah, but A&M, they're while down, not out, and you forget that
Oh,
John
just
Chavis is their defensive
Every
coordinator.
every week you got to play in the SEC. Doesn't
Exactly.
matter. Doesn't
That's why I
matter
said
if
I
it's
don't
Tennessee or
like
Vanderbilt.
preseason. It's just too
So-
it's just too much.
But I'm not going to jump on the Tennessee bandwagon quite yet. Anyway, let's move on to pro football, since we'll be talking plenty of college football, I'm sure, next week.
Oh yeah.
Titans against Carolina the other day, preseason. The last two games, and I may be wrong, but I believe they've given up a touchdown on the very first time they were on defense each game.
You are correct.
That doesn't bode well. I mean, they won one of the games, but once you get to the second period and the third quarter and whatnot,
This is where you know where this team's going to struggle this year. You know this team is going to be on the defense side. They're going to struggle. That's going to be whether or not they can make the adjustments before the season actually starts. Plus, these are preseason games, so you don't want to tip your hand too much during
Yeah.
these games. A lot of starters are out, so I don't know. Preseason games are really
hard to judge.
hard
Yeah.
to judge. Yeah, and I don't put a lot of value into these preseason
Yeah.
games. So, but offensively, Tennessee has looked great. I will say that Marcus Mariota, I believe, only had one incomplete pass this
But it
last
was
game.
an
It was an
interception.
interception, was that long? But still, I've seen some good things from Mariota, and I think
Running
this
game
offense
looks really good.
Yeah, with Derrick Henry and DeMarco Murray back there, I think think good.
Offensive line
Yeah.
is kind of, they
Yeah.
brought in some guys with the offensive line, which that's a place they've struggled.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Now the only improvement they need to make is just on the defensive end.
Agreed. We're agreeing on that.
you
Can't
want
believe
it?
that's
There's an
in our
agreement
rights.
at the table. I guess that's about all we got for this week, guys. We'll have plenty next week to talk about with Tullahoma playing Franklin County, college football about to kick off, and quite honestly, professional football is just about to kick off as well. Once again, he's going to Tullahoma, I'm going to Tullahoma, and you're going.
Of course, I want Franklin County to win
She's
because
going Franklin County.
you know it makes for good broadcasting for me. So
All right. Well, folks, we appreciate you tuning in. Like anytime, give us a call. You can always reach Zach
At Zach Birdsong on Twitter.
or Callie.
his at newsgal27.
If you want to email us, email tnpro@lcs.net if you have a topic or subject you would like for us to talk about. Thanks again, folks. Have a good day.